Hey, welcome back to the channel. One of the things that I discovered after getting the tail wheel connected is I have to expand my slots for that for the tail wheel steering arm because I'm hitting the stop down below before I get the amount of rudder throw that I want. So I'm gonna have to go back there with the Dremel and expand those. I'm guessing maybe a 1/4 of an inch each way will probably do it. So both forward and back on both sides. So I'll have to crawl under there, take care of that. And I did get my wires all tied up under here. So just got one of those sheaths that you can buy off Amazon or whatever for all of your cables, like for your TV or any wires basically that you have. They work really well because they just open up and you put them on there and they kind of snap around it, and I just have it clamped in place. And so that's all set. I did get my my chart case installed here with Velcro, and that's in good shape too. So that'll work out just fine right there. It's not gonna be in anything's way. If I stuff something in here and have easy access to my pencil with my left hand off the throttle onto the pencil or whatever, so that's no big deal. And so I'm all, except for connecting the 2 1/8-inch tubes and marking them and running them out the hole down into the fuselage. That's all I have left in here. I've gone over everything a couple of times just to make sure that everything is tight and where it should be, and everything looks really good. So as soon as I get those 2 1/8-inch tubes installed, I'll pick some of that up probably here maybe today or tomorrow. Then I can put my cover on, and then we can put the windscreen on. And hopefully we won't have to pull it back off again, but as you know, if I do, it's a piece of cake because you just take a drill and blah blah blah, off you go. There is the one 3/16 hole that has the brackets to the upright tube, the rollover tube, and that's the only one that needs a wrench. Everything else just comes off easy with a drill. Then you can easily access the back of that instrument panel. So now I'm going to paint the bottom of the fuselage, and I do need to get this hole drilled for this tube. So I'll just kind of locate it here off of this member and drill that hole in the fuselage, put a grommet there, so that'll be ready to receive this tube on the inside. But other than that, I'm going to heat up the iron, probably heat it up to maybe 220. You don't want to put too much heat on a finishing tape because it will want to curl up on you and change shape. So 220 seems to work just fine. So I've got these few little bubbles here to iron down, and then I'll go around and I'll actually iron the pinked edge of every tape all the way around, and that'll make sure those are all nice and down and secure. And then I'll get the light green, greenish bluish color on the bottom of here. I'm going to come around and I'm going to kind of split it on the leading edge, so I'll paint a little past the middle of the leading edge, and then a little bit of a bubble there too. And then when I get to the tip, I think what I'm going to do is just split it down the middle. I'm just going to come, it actually won't be quite down the middle, but from this point, whatever that distance is off of here, I'll just run that straight back and get that taken care of. Okay, so I'm going to get all set up, get the paint out, get the I'm going to be thinning it thinning the paint a little bit. I'll be using some flow. Got it over here, some Floetrol with that. So that helps it lay down flat. And we'll be putting 4 coats on, and we'll be trying to cross up those coats as much as possible. Sometimes it's easier to go one direction than the other, so I don't always end up going strictly this way, and sometimes I go at an angle. But either way, we just won't be painting the same direction all the time, and we'll get 4 solid coats on this, and then after I get the 4 coats on, then I'll be able to come out here on and I'll be able to put my roundel on the bottom as well, and it's going to be located right about I think I'm going to end up centering it on this 3rd rib from the outboard edge. That's going to bring it in about here. I'm going to do a 36-inch circle. So let's see. Grab a tape here. So that might be too big, actually. Yeah, 36 is going to be too big. I think that's probably going to want to be... Well, actually, when you add the aileron, 36 is beyond there. It's going to be more like a 30-inch circle. So that puts it 28, puts it here, then I end up with about the same distance as the aileron. Let's see, I'm just measuring to the leading edge, about 11 inches. And my aileron ends up being about that. So actually, it looks like 28 is going to be better. 28 centered up on this 3rd rib, and then 14. And that circle will basically be here to here. It's kind of inside the finishing tape, so it'll be about that wide. I think that will actually look really good. I definitely feel good about this location, about 1/3 of the way from the tip, about 1/3 of the way in, and center it up on there. Yeah, okay. Sorry, thinking, not out loud, thinking, period. So, but I'm good now. So, get the iron heated up. I did get her cleaned off, which is great. The acetone, no go, did nothing. So I tried some nitrate dope thinner, nothing, and ended up basically just using some 1500 grit wet and dry sandpaper, sanded wet, and that took care of it. So iron's nice and clean now, which will make it a lot easier going around and taking care of ironing down all of the pinked edges, ironing down the tip here, all that good stuff. So enough talking, let's get to work. Alright, so my paint mixture is actually 1/16. It's 1/16 of that to what you put in here, so I just do a little quick math after I get that in there. And once I find a number that works, I just kind of stick with it. And so, let's see, it's just a gram scale, so I'm just going to go with like 120. Yeah, go a little bit further. So that's 200. So that's another 12. So we gotta add 12. And it's about right there. All right, and we'll just mix that up really good. All right. And I'm gonna get some gloves on. And then we get a new roller ready. And I just use these white rollers you get at Home Depot. They're just a high density foam 6-inch roller. And before I start rolling that, I'm going to take the brush and just get real quick in these areas where I can't get, where I'm not going to be able to get with the roller. So all right, from there, we actually put our paint right on this flat surface, and this really helps when you're rolling out the paint. It helps a great deal in keeping it smooth. So, and then I just carry this around with me, pick the place where I want to start, and off I go. Just get the brush loaded up here. Let's start out going this direction. So where did that come from? And I just keep a close eye on that and see how that's gonna dry out, because if it's not gonna, for some reason, get all the bubbles out, then I'm gonna have to come back and tip it. So and it looks like it's drying really fast, so it looks like tipping it is going to be necessary. And that's just gently dragging the brush across the surface, and that makes sure that we get all the bubbles out. All right, so I got the first coat done, all the way down, and now we're gonna go tape hunting. And what we're looking for is any place where we've got a pinked edge that's sticking up. We've got one right here. So we take the iron and we just come in there, and you want to get it now before you get that second coat on, so that because it's gonna smear the paint. So we just keep a lookout for those. And there's one right here. That's good. I didn't see any down here at all as I was painting, so everything looks good there. There was one right back here, just the front edge of this. You can see it right there on the front edge, so just gotta put some heat on that, get that glued back down. There we go. And that's all I saw while I was painting, so that's pretty good. And up in here looks good. And I had just a couple of little bubbles on the leading edge that I needed to get. So and then there was one right down here. All right, so now first coat is drying down there, but it's already dry down there, so I can jump to the other end and do it all over again. Coat number 2. All right, here we go. All right, so we have we've got 3 coats. I just have one more coat to put on the fabric open area. I have 4 coats on the leading edge, and everything's looking really good. So I'm super happy with how my rib stitching job came out. It looks nice. It's just nice to see, you know, everything's lined up. Using those chalk lines really helped out, and just happy overall with how the finish is looking. You get, like, occasionally there'll be, like, there was a little spot of glue there, but other than those, just every now and then you see something like that. The finish is really good. Nice lightweight. 4 coats is plenty to make really good coverage. We've got one more coat to go on this area. There's, like I said, there's 4 coats on the leading edge, and I just painted the where the aileron goes, the bottom color just on the inside of the top, and then I'll paint the other color on the inside of the bottom when I flip the wing over. But after we get this portion done, we're going to put the roundel on the bottom. And I did notice that the bottom one, the red, white, and blue one, is actually a little bit smaller than the one that's on the top, which is just the big blue field with the red dot in the middle. So I'm going to make the bottom one 24 inches. I'm going to make the top one 28 inches. But as soon as the 4th coat is dry, we'll switch over, grab my contraption, and start painting that. That'll be big enough where I should be able to actually roll that instead of brush it. Then I got my pitot and static connections made inside, so I could cover up cover this up now. I ran out of screws. I've got to go get some more. I need to pick up some more of those, but I'll go get those. And here's where my static tube comes in right here, and you can see my connector. I just machined just on my lathe. I just made 3/16 to 1/4 inch adapter there, so that worked out really well. And so the like I said before, the one from the pitot tube will actually come in just right about here, and we'll just join up with these, connect them together, and then that will we'll be tying that back a little bit, so it's not getting in our way. Figure out how I want to do that. I can probably tie them. Yeah, if I have to add another block or something, I will, just so we can get those secured once we get them in place. So, but I like having the connection here, because if I have to remove the wing, it becomes really easy to access that and get that disconnected. So really, to take the wing off, I just have to disconnect the fuel, where the fuel lines are, after draining the tanks. I guess it's a bit of a, it would be a bit of a process actually to get the wing off. This is not a take it apart and take it to the airport and put it together and fly it and then take it apart and bring it home kind of airplane, just because of the way it's designed, you know, with wing tanks and everything. It becomes a lot more challenging to do that. You could put quick disconnects on the fuel line. However, I just don't just want to eliminate as many of those kind of connections as possible, any potential leak issues. And I think those are highly functional. It's just unnecessary. If I'm going to live in a hangar, there's no reason why I need something like that, and I'm going to have more of a permanent installation. So yeah. All right, so until I get these screws, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint. I'm going to finish this up with its last coat, and then I'm going to make a run, get the screws for that, and then we can put our windscreen, we can get the windscreen put on, which would be awesome. And yeah, making progress. All right. I did have one thing that I wanted to show Leo over in Australia. Leo was curious how I managed to get that one section smoothed out after I put the fabric on, and that where that occurs is actually right here. So I have to do the same on this one. Whenever before I cover this one, I need to round this off right here, because it became a very sharp edge in the fabric. So what I ended up doing, let's see, give me 1 second here. I just took a piece of Lexan, and I really smoothed out the edges on it here. So all of these edges right in here are just really smooth and round. And then I took I just put some self-adhesive sandpaper on this side. And what that allowed me to do was go up underneath the fabric. I could go right through here, and I was up under the fabric and actually putting my hand down on top of this while it was on top of it with the fabric. Then I was just able to sand this like that. Once the fabric was in place, and then this rounded, all smoothed out and rounded, kept me from damaging the fabric in any way. And you can see just a little light sanding like this. You know, you can see where it shows up right there on that corner. And I mean, it worked like a charm. It would have been better not to have to do that. But I did rack my brain for a while. How am I going to do this? I tried a file, I tried something else, and nothing, those were not going to work. And I tried putting something in between and then putting a file. But I said I need something flexible that can really get in there. And this old windscreen that was warped, that was messed up had a huge scratch in it, which is why I replaced it with those. Worked perfectly, so. So Leo, there you go. That's how I solved that one. And we don't want to do it again, so we'll make sure we get that one rounded off before we get too far. Okay, I'm going to get this paint on, get some screws, and then we'll hop over there and put that together. All right, so I got this roundel painted on my fuselage, on my wing, which looks really good. And it ended up being about 26, or actually 25 inches. Actually, maybe it was 28 inches. I think it was 28 inches. I can measure it, but I just needed it to go back just a little bit further. Both of them start pretty much right where the leading edge section ends, which is similar to the actual Hurricane. I just needed this to go back a little further. It's 27 inches actually, and then after I got that done, I'm in the process of painting the red, white, and blue on the tail. I did the white first, and now I'm coming back with the red and the blue. So those just need a second coat, and then I'll be done with that. And now I can flip my wing over and begin sealing the fabric on the top side and getting started on the brown paint. And we're going to come from the center of the leading edge, which is going to be about here, and we're going to cut, I believe, straight through the bearing brackets. So let me grab a ruler here. And that'll take us right through the middle of the aileron. So it's pretty much going to go from there to there. So we'll have a line right there, then that'll be brown on the top side of that. Maybe it'll be green whenever we get to figuring out how the camo scheme on the wing plays out. But at any rate, we're ready to flip it over and move on. So I do have to buy some more of the inspection hole covers, and so that I can get them painted, because they need to be painted the same color. So on the next wing, when I paint this color, I'll be painting some covers as well. So we'll just get them primed with some chromate primer, and then we'll paint them with the same paint that we're painting these with. So okay, yeah, so that's going to be it for me for this video. But hey, as always, I will catch you later.